Hello and welcome. For electric vehicles or EVs, charging is a very important activity. I've been looking into some best practices for charging EVs so that we can increase or maximize life of the EV batteries. So in this video, I like to share some tips. Avoid 100% charging. If we are on a trip with EVs, 100% charging usually doesn't happen because even if you are doing fast charging, after 80% it slows down drastically. But if we are charging overnight, usually what happens is we leave the vehicle plugged in for charging, and when we get up in the morning, it may reach 100%. But 100% charging usually stresses the batteries and reduces its life. Unless you are starting a trip and you want to start with 100%, it is highly recommended that you charge only up to maybe 80%. Similarly, we need to minimize deep discharges. So we should not wait for 1-2% battery to be left before we start charging. Ideally, when it reaches about 20 to 30%, that's the best time to recharge the batteries. When possible, use slow charging. Sometimes we are on a long trip and we need the vehicle quickly because we have limited time available. So on those occasions, obviously, we have to do fast charging. But on a regular use or normal use, it is highly recommended that we use slow charging. So fast charging ends up straining the battery and it reduces life if it is used too frequently. So for normal use, it is highly recommended that charging such as L2 is used. Another tip is to avoid extreme temperatures. During summer, for example, when you are parking the car, it is better you park in some shaded area. On the other hand, during winters, during extreme cold temperatures, it is highly recommended that you park your car in the garage. That will also go a long way in increasing the life of EV batteries. Another tip is some EVs allow for preconditioning of the vehicle. So it is highly recommended to use when possible, especially when we have like extreme weather, very hot or very cold. Preconditioning the vehicle will definitely help a lot in increasing the life of EV batteries. Another important tip is to avoid aggressive driving, rapid acceleration or hard stopping. So those definitely consume more battery power and have negative impact on longevity of the EV batteries. Many EVs already come with the regenerative batteries. Like when you press brakes, at that time, that power is used for charging the battery. That also actually helps reduce wear out of the braking system. Having a regular checkup is another important tip. If there's any problem, it is always good to detect it earlier so that it can be taken care of. Similarly, if there are any software updates, usually these software updates have something that improves battery management and efficiency. So always get software updated quickly. Another tip is to use climate control wisely. Usually the heating and cooling systems in EVs consume a lot of power. And if you are able to preheat or pre-cool vehicle depending on the weather while the batteries are getting charged, that's always a good idea. Another tip is about long-term storage care. So if you are not going to use your EV for an extended period of time for whatever reason, maybe you are on a long trip and you'll be coming back after like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. So it is always a good idea to leave your EV with about 50-60% charge. And the last tip I like to share is avoid frequent rapid charging. Although rapid charging is obviously very convenient for long trips, but that also degrades the EV batteries much more quickly. So it may not be possible to avoid it on longer trips, but when possible, always try to avoid rapid charging. So those were some best practices for long life of EV batteries, and I'm sure you'll find those tips useful. But remember that EV battery technology varies from maybe one EV to other EV. So for example, in Tesla, when you're taking your vehicle for charging and you have put the address for fast charging, it knows that, and then it starts the preconditioning cycle. but some other EVs may not have that feature directly available. So these kind of things may vary from one manufacturer to other manufacturer, one model to other model. So it may always make sense to refer to vehicles manual for any specific recommendations. Thanks for watching. See you soon.